for the last time in midweek muster, we take to Frisian Marshes. F's in chat because this Frisian is not going to appear in the next edition. One and all, welcome back to the channel. And welcome back to Age of Empires for action. We're tied up 1-1 apiece in this best of 7 grand finals. And in game 3, Wham is whipping out the Joan, while Puppy Paw is going to make him moan because he's got the Mongols. This Civ is potent on this map. Joan can have some potency, though. French versus Mongols I still see as a matchup that can go either way. But I think Joan, if you get your opening correct, you can actually sometimes be a bigger threat than the French here. We'll just have to see if Wham can pull it off. Look at the spawns. We actually have a phenomenal spawn for Wham. Retracted gold. No easy outpost rush if Puppy Paw wants to play into it. But he's smarter than that. He says not even worth it. He actually scouted first. I love that. So he delayed the timing. He had the woods, and he made the adjustment. That was a really crucial adjustment, guys, because when he ran in, he saw there was no gold in the front, or not only one, right? He checks the back, and then he has 150 wood. Some players would be like, ah, screw it, we're going to send it anyway. I mean, I need spears against French knights. But the smart read here is that instead, he spent that 150 wood on a pasture. Now, yes, he won't need a pasture that quickly on a map with this many sheep, but it will still be an edge down the line, right? It gives him a stronger pump in the feudal age. How do you guys gamp, by the way? I'm curious. Oof. A lofty amount in favor of Puppy Paw. I mean, I'm not surprised. Mongols have looked nigh on unbeatable on this map so far in the 3 weeks of competition. But can they be beaten by Le Coq? Chamber of Commerce on the way for Lejeune. Other side, Puppy Paw should be mirroring with a Silver Tree. And he can actually pocket it nicely behind his DC, very far away. That can be double-edged, right? It actually might be better to build it here, because then you have diagonal trade, which will be a long distance, and also that's close to your town center, so protectable, right? I think that would probably make a lot more sense for him. It's a little bit risky because of the slight stealth forest, but you should be playing a bit aggressive anyway with Keshik, Spears, and Khans into that forest. I'm wondering, actually. Look at the spawn. Is there any world in which we get 2 TC play from Joan? Probably not. I think you need to do pressure before you can think about that level of greed. And once you've applied that level of pressure, you probably want to keep it up anyway. Puppy is just going to pull it all back for now because he's probably expecting an opening night. He hasn't scouted that it is Chamber of Commerce yet. You can see what he's doing with his scout. It's going to be very late to reveal whether it's Sock or Cock. So he's probably going to play as if it is not Chamber, just because that way, you know, if it is Chamber of Commerce, you probably make the same moves into the early feudal. But if it's the School of Cavalry and you don't actually apply yourself accordingly, i.e. pulling back with your resource gathering, you're just going to end up losing 1, maybe 2 villages. So better safe than sorry on this type of opening. And the trade-off is that he should get more sheep. In fact, in this corner, there's a few remaining. So final sheep haul is going to be 22 to 22. Wow. But yeah, but keep in mind, actually, Wham got the edge there because Puppy Paw, 2 of them are spawned sheep. So actually, that is an edge for Wham. I think it just turned into 21 versus 22. It's a nice start for him. Love the timing as well. I've seen a few plays through these Chamber of Commerce plays, and I really don't like it when the forestry isn't there at the beginning of the age up. If you try to do wheelbarrow first, you're just going to probably sacrifice your ideal timing on Chamber of Commerce. The other thing I've noticed is it feels a little bit better to do Chamber of Commerce with Joan than it does with French. I think part of it's to do with timings, because you benefit from just using the 1 villager here, just build it up, there's no rush, you get your level 2 guaranteed. But that also brings a beautiful trade-off, which is once you tech up, you're immediately edging towards replacing the lost villager, right? In just 15 seconds, after losing Joan, you will gain a trader. So it brings you back into balance, because this has always been a bit of a conundrum with Joan in her early game, is once she gets committed into the level 2, you've essentially lost an economy unit, an early phase. I mean, we're talking 20 eco, so you end up losing 5% of your economy at this stage. And wait, Puppy Paw? He didn't do Silver Tree. Interesting. Now, that is an intentional adjustment, actually. If this was French, he would have done Silver Tree, right? But there's something different when you're up against Joan, and I wondered if he was going to go for it, if he was going to be confident that Keshiks were good enough. When you play against Joan, if you go traders, you're just paying her, right? Because the traders, at some point, are going to get intercepted, and Joan will get a lot of XP for that. I think it's like 12, right? So very lofty amount of XP going away. But he needs economy, right? So instead, Puppy Paw, for the second time in this tournament, second series since the patch and the buff to TCs, he's 2 for 2 trying to do the Mongol TC bin. Last time he tried this against French, not Joan, but French, was in the Dumu set, and it did not end well for him. Let's see if this goes any better. Why wouldn't you tower the stone and gold to help cover any potential trade? Delays your timing. Delays your time drastically, and also the 2 golds are so far apart, your opponent will grab something anyway, right? So, like, you could outpost here, but if you want to outpost both of these, you're so close, Wham is going to rush down the outposts. And if you do one outpost here, you have to come back and do another one here. At which point, your opponent could easily be feudal age and just killing you, right? And yeah, ironically, Mongols are getting tower rushed in this game. I love that, though. Notice he keeps the zone near this because that's going to buff the build speed by 33%. It's a really smart play there. It means you get the outpost up in 40 seconds instead of having to wait a whole minute. That is a huge difference. That puts you faster than old-school Mongol outpost rush timings. Now, bigger problem as well is you're in a matchup where sometimes you like to go Keshix to kind of raid trade. Now you can't. Your gold's blocked, right? I mean, actually, in the current state of things, Puppy Paw... Wait, is he building a third TC? Crackety. Crackety, what have you done? Crackety was just a year ahead of the meta. It's free TC! What? What am I watching right now? Oh my god. I mean, he needs to... Oh god, what does he do to get out of this? I almost feel like he's just admitted defeat. There you go. Crackety straight on it. He's like, didn't get the double broad axe improved. Gee, I wonder why Crackety. Is it maybe because that requires gold? Don't worry though, better get it soon. Marketplace now being dropped. Khan has noticed the trade. It's up to 7 so far. Yeah, good luck sticking on it though. 1 horseman coming out to address that. And we have a 4 archery range, folks. Wham doesn't want this to be a long one. Oh my god, this is incredible. Rats getting added in now by Puppy Paw, so he had to sell probably wood in this situation. He could have went for selling food, to be honest, to buy the gold necessary to get the spear upgrade. However, what he really needs here is archers. Because Wham is getting his own. And if you go archer and archer, you can at least trade the distance and come out ahead. Obviously, you can't play Keshik. Oh my god. Objectively speaking, it's very hard for Wham to do something. I mean, that is true, but also at the same time, just add another marketplace and get better economy. Because now you're just getting loads and loads of gold. You can have food instead if you want, wood instead. And your opponent is exhausting his safe resources very quickly. Right? He's up to 45 economy already. Great, in theory, until you remember that he's now spending a lofty 450 food per minute on building things that eat all the safe resources he has, which are limited, even quicker. The coming minutes, the only thing you'll be able to do is build pastures to gather food. That's true. Puppy Paw's really big mistake here was when he built the trade post, he should have bought gold to get his steeled arrow, and then stagger move the outpost towards Wham's base. I mean, come on, guys. Rookie mistake, really. We've got Deerstone moving forward. I mean, he's going to need to be very quick on his reaction, because right now he literally just has spears. And I'm pretty sure Wham's just going to go castle, right? You could just go castle here and spam knights. Wait, what? He's adding in state... Well, I guess, actually, yeah, in fairness, he can afford horsemen, right? And he can just about... Wow, he actually min-maxed this. He can just about afford the horseman upgrade to make them real units. Oh my god. Oh, wait, Puppy Paw. Yeah, you're right. He actually just removed the Stealth Forest with that play. Sometimes I do wonder if that behavior is actually intended. What's the trade count looking like for Wham? I mean, he's fallen behind a bit, right? 14 so far. But those traders are going to be really efficient for what they give, right? 74 gold each way. Fishing as well, so Wham's also being extra efficient. I know, terrible. In that regard, right? Compared to Puppy Paw, who's been gathering on sheep, gathering on berries. Which are about to run out, right? No, dude, he's still at 17. It's kind of wild. I think a lot of them are injured, though, because they've been clubbed down, right? So let's say probably close to, like, 12 sheep. But he has got double pasture on the Uvu, so he's producing very quickly. Wow, Guildhall coming behind this. I mean, makes sense, right? It would feel really weird to just with 5 knights at 11 minutes go for the Royal Institute here. Probably a lot better just to set yourself up for a late game pivot if your brother refuses to come out. Which, looking at this, it's very likely he's going to refuse to ever come out. I also love all these full production buildings from Wham. I mean, realistically, your base is more likely to be scouted than here, right? So triple racks hidden in the shroud. What is this game? The amount of people who would have gambled on this one with a clear idea in mind, and then they just get this. The irony is they're both doing what the other would maybe be expected to do in this matchup, right? Like, you could imagine, like, Joan or French going 2TC, right? And then you expect Mongols to go trade. Well, looks like the army is going to be marching towards that trade, by the way. So Wham, ooh, does he try to dive in? This is tricky because the Deer Stone is very hard to actually raid eco. However, when they come out like this, but the knights are still here. Wait, what is Puppy Paw doing? Okay, this is wild. Yeah, Joan's coming. Walk right now. That cleave could hit all those villages. Remember, when you go into torch mode, you get no clip. Traders on the traders, though. Villagers having to run away as well. He's going to have to return damage fast here. Wham. Trying to commit in. Joan going for the cleaves. Villagers being sniped down. But wait, this is the genius. How do you counter Joan? You give her limited XP. What gives the least XP here? Villagers. No textiles, though. Shame on you, good sir. I mean, a spear gives 8 XP, right? A horseman gives 12 XP. But a villager, that's only 5 XP. Okay, so tail end of this is looking really bad for WAP. Because the diving is primary. Could he actually burn? No, there'll be repairs here, right? Wham has got a little bit of wood in reserve. He's got outposts on the tree line. So this isn't going to kill him, but he hasn't done enough damage in return, right? Like, equal kill trade is not good enough here. Not against free TC Mongols. Spearmen are going to find the gold as well, so Wham. Game's getting even more tricky here. He has got a men-at-arms wave coming, though, folks. Seems like he's trying to avoid going home because he knows that's just going to ruin his timing here. He wants to dive in with his chunky men-at-arms with range 2 upgrade and ruin Puppy Paw's economy. I mean, the timing makes sense, right? But he needs to be fast about this. He's taking a heavy hit in the meantime. Puppy Paw, did he get seen there? I think surely he got seen. No, I don't think he did. So Wham, funnily enough, is not going to spot him. The knight is looking. Maybe? I feel like he should see it. And those traders are making up for lost time, guys. Why get 71 resources when you can get 127? They found a new outlook on life. However, Puppy Paw also sees them. Starting to march in now. I mean, the problem is Puppy Paw is not really producing army. And the men-at-arms are a problem here, guys. Trader's at least going to get blocked, but the dive is coming in now. And Puppy Paw needs this real estate for pastures. Looks like he's going to get put out to pasture, though. The boys are ready to dive. These TCs, they only do 1 damage per arrow shot. Meantime, backstab does come in, but it's into men-at-arms. Not ideal. A lot of other time being forced as well. There's 26 villages not working. Wham, meanwhile, needs to get his back to work. He has got some idle eco, but the villagers... How do you... I don't know how there is no textiles after all this time. Like, really? Puppy was like, he'll never dive me. He's like, it's not worth the trade, the terrible trade to get an extra 100 gold here. Puppy Paw is hemorrhaging way too much economy here. It looked like a good raid on the other side originally, but this men-at-arms timing was always coming. So this is a firm reminder to everyone that despite what Krakti might have you believe, free TC plus on Mongols is a meme. Actually, that's not true. The problem here is that Puppy Paw stopped at 3. Had this been 8 villages every 20 seconds via an 8 TC build, he wouldn't have cared. But the meme strat has failed him. Wham! Able to unravel the Mongols on Frisian. What do you think, guys? What is the optimal TC number if you're trying to play Abba Mongol? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next one.